So in this lecture we will do the topic of inequality, and in the chapter of inequality we have to do four broad things. The first thing is, how can we define inequality? What is the definition of inequality, or how can we define it? Second thing is, how can we measure inequality that is prevalent in the Indian economy? How can we measure inequality? And the third thing is, what are the causes behind this inequality? And the last thing is, what are the initiatives taken by government to reduce inequality? So we are starting with defining inequality. Inequality, inequality, it is the difference. It is the difference between income of individuals. Let's suppose one individual is earning 1 crore per month and other individual is earning 1000 rupees. So it is the difference between the income of individuals or different section of society. Also it is difference between the expenditure capacity of individuals or sections of society. And the third thing is, it is the difference between wealth holdings. So basically inequality refers to differences in income, expenditure and wealth holdings of different sections of society. After this, the second thing is, how can we measure inequality? Measurement of inequality. So there are various methods to measure inequality. First of them is quintile ratio. Quintile ratio is the ratio of income of richest 20% to the income of poorest 20%. So by this way we can measure inequality using quintile ratio. The second method is Palmer ratio. In quintile ratio we take the ratio of richest 20% upon poorest 20%. But in case of Palmer ratio we take income of richest 10% divided by income of poorest 40% of the population of the society, population of the country. The third method is Lorenz curve. By the help of this method we also can measure inequality that is prevalent in the economy, and Lorenz curve is given by MD Lorenz. On this side we will take percentage of income, and on the x-axis we take percentage of population. In this method we take the diagonal and this is called as line of absolute equality. Line of absolute equality. And let's suppose if poorest 20% of people or population earning 10% income and poorest 80% earning 60% income. This is an hypothetical situation. So let's suppose poorest 20% earning 10% income. So this will be the point. and poorest 80% earning 60% of the income. So these are the 2 points we take in the example, and this will be the curve. And how much distance between these two curves tell us how much inequality is prevalent in the economy. If the second curve is closer to the line of absolute equality, then the inequality present in the economy will be less. But if there is more deviation, then there will be more inequality. So this is the method of Lorenz curve. By this method, we can measure inequality. And the next method is Gini coefficient. Next method is Gini coefficient. So the next method is Gini coefficient. Gini coefficient is an arithmetic measure of inequality. It is an arithmetic measure of inequality, and it is based on Lorenz curve. So it is given by G is equal to area between the line of absolute equality and Lorenz curve divided by area below or above the line of absolute equality. So Gini coefficient is given by area between 45° and Lorenz curve. So this is the area divided by area below or above the line of absolute equality. This is the arithmetic measure of inequality by Gini coefficient method. These are all the important methods for measure inequality in the economy or in the society. The next thing is, what are the causes of inequality? Why so much inequality is present in our society? So the first cause is difference in ownership of land and wealth. For example, some people have hundreds of acres of land, but some do not have anything. So difference in the ownership of land and wealth. This is the first cause of inequality. Why inequality is present in our society? The second thing is difference in access to education and training. Because if good education or training is not provided, then the youth is unemployable or unskilled. They will not be able to find employment. That will become a cause of poverty, and that will cause inequalities between two sections or different sections of society. The third cause is scarcity of capital. Because resources are limited, these are not unlimited. Resources are limited, but population is growing on a higher rate. So all will not be able to enjoy the use of resources, will not be able to use the resources, and so this also became a cause for inequality. The fourth cause of the inequality present in India is the infrastructure in case of India is inadequate, especially social infrastructure. For example, schools or hospitals, these are inadequate in India, and because of these things, some individuals which are not capable to go to, for example, private hospital or private school, this became a case for them being unequal to others. The fifth thing is differences differences in the abilities of individual differences in the abilities of individuals, because some individuals are not that capable if we compare them to others. So this also became a cause for inequality among different individuals or different sections of society. And the last thing is leakages in government development expenditure due to corruption. Because of that, who are in need do not do not get do not get benefit of the government schemes or subsidy. So these are the causes for inequality prevalent in Indian economy. Now, what are the measures taken by government to reduce these inequalities? So what are the government measures? The first important measure taken by government is land reforms. So the first important measure taken by government is land reforms, and in land reforms the first thing done by government is abolition of zamindari, because zamindars were very powerful in the pre-independence India. So government abolished zamindari to reduce inequality present between zamindars and farmers or other sections of the society. The second thing is ceiling of land holding. By this, individuals cannot hold land beyond a certain limit. So this also reduce inequality. And the third thing is tenancy reforms. The second important measure taken by government is reservation scheme, so that who are socially and educationally backward to give them a chance to become equal to the upper strata of the society. The next measure taken by government is establishment of public sector, and the motive behind establishment of public sector is to ensure social justice, so that the benefit of development can be enjoyed by every section of the society, and it does not limit itself, or the development does not reach only to the rich individuals. The fourth important measure taken by government to reduce inequality is government provides support to micro, small and medium enterprises, because it generates employment for a large section of the society. The next thing is nationalization of banks. Nationalization of banks, so that every individual, especially those are poor, have access to credit. And the last thing done by government is development programs to reduce poverty or to generate employment. These programs are helpful in reducing inequality. Other examples: to develop rural or urban areas, or to develop skills in the youth, or to enhance nutritional projects or educational projects. So this is all about inequality chapter.